Good morning, all of you. We have Professor Saraf amongst us. Mr. Saraf is a professional consultant for statistical analysis. He has helped thousands of researchers in conducting, workshops on SPSS software. He has also helped them in writing dissertation and thesis reports. He'll be immensely helpful to you all in case you need any handholding or guidance on writing your dissertation or thesis. I'll hand it over to Mr. Saraf. Good morning, Mr. Saraf.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Saraf. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Sir, we are indeed honored to have you with us today. A lot of participants have joined, few of them are still joining. So you may please begin.
Okay.
We'll be here for any kind of IT support if you need. I and Dr. Anjali.
Okay.
Yes, yes. You may begin, sir. Thank you.
Okay. I've shared my PPT. Can you see this PPT?
No, sir, we're not able to see the PPT.
You're not able to see the PPT. Okay, I'll share once again.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. Okay. I've shared my PPT now. Will you be able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good morning to all of you, and let us start with the session. First of all, I'm thankful to all the management of Bharati Vidyapeeth for giving me opportunity to share my knowledge, and I'll try to present as best of my knowledge and to enhance the quality of your research paper. The takeaway of this session will be uh, particularly a research methodology or data analysis part that can enhance your research paper with quality, and that can be at level of somewhere scopus of Q2, Q3, 4, or it can be ABDC journal of category A, B, C. So that is all objective of this section. My assumption for start of my workshop is, we are assuming that your title of the research is finalized, or you might have selected, or you have an idea how to select the title, because I'm not going to discuss about that part. How to do the review of literature in the APA style, that you're aware. Research gap is required to be identified for any research. Question is being designed, and a primary or secondary data is collected. Under this assumption, I can take forward to my session. Now, the first of all, the question will be asked that which software we use for data analysis and which is the good software. Of course, particularly statistical software, if I say about, we use a SPSS, basically is a statistical package for social science. Second is called the AMOS. AMOS has a limited use. Then we have a smart PLS. Then we have Jamovi and Excel. Of course, everyone use the Excel. Beside that, we can use the Python, but Python is again a platform which can fetch the statistical methods and process your data using that method. So all these softwares are used for specific purpose. SPSS is a paid version. Definitely a trial version you can get only for 14 days, and it catch your IP. So once you download a trial version of SPSS for 14 days, again you cannot download on the same IP. So it is very limited use of 14 days trial version, you'll get it. And that too will not get all features. If possible, try to get SPSS wherever licenses are available with multiple memberships so that you can try to avail it. Or I don't suggest officially on this platform to use the crack version. But if you're using a good intention only for learning purpose, then you may try with that person, but not use for commercial purpose. Because your objective is to learn something, is fine, you can try for that part. AMOS is used specifically for confirmatory factor analysis, which is used CFA. Nowadays, in place of AMOS, I'll just show you each of them. This is the SPSS part that we'll be able to see. This can be SPSS version. This will be the outlook of SPSS, where we have the variables and everything. And this is a smart PLS. Smart PLS is basically used for the confirmatory factor analysis, or it is used for structural equation modeling. I'll explain in detail, but just I'm giving you the name of the software that can be used for that part. Again, Smart PLS is also a paid version. The lower version, Smart PLS 3, may be available in the free version. Jamovi is available free version. Jamovi is almost like a SPSS, but it has a limited application, is more user friendly. If you recommend your students for any project, definitely you can go for Jamovi. Even for the research paper, you can try for the Jamovi. It's a new software, so definitely people are not much aware about it. It is quite user friendly, and it's a free version is the main important part is. And definitely you will be able to use the free access for Jamovi software. If you ask me about SPSS is better or Jamovi is better, then my answer will be, if you do it for your thesis or doctorate level, definitely SPSS is preferable because it gives a more precise output by which you can draw your interpretation. Jamovi has a limited output, so definitely you won't be able to elaborate it. But for research paper, it is quite possible that you can use the Jamovi also. Jamovi is quite user friendly. If you take the tutorial, you'll be able to understand it. So I suggest for research paper, for PG students project, you can use Jamovi. Excel, everyone is aware about it. Beside that, there are some more softwares which we can use for the diagrammatic presentation, like Power BI we can use. There are Sankey diagrams, multiple softwares are available. Now for diagrammatic part, we can use Power BI, which can better. Even the Excel diagrams are also maybe sufficient. But when you draw the diagrams from the SPSS software, SPSS, then you won't be able to edit them. You will not be able to customize it. So definitely it's important for you to take those diagrams which you can edit. You can put the title according to you want it. So you can try for the Excel. So these all are the softwares available. Which software will give better result? So my answer is all software will give the same answer because they are the platforms. They doesn't have their own different methods of using it. Whatever data will feed to SPSS or Jamovi, it will give the exactly same result. That I have verified. There will not be any change. Even you put on the Excel sheet, it will be, unless you make some mistake in the command or input of the data, then there can be different results where possible. Otherwise, same data you process either on SPSS or you process on Jamovi or Excel or Python, your results will be exactly same. So nothing like that कि SPSS can give better result. Some people come and say me कि sir SPSS में अगर result नहीं आ रहा है, टेस्ट एक्सेप्ट नहीं हो रहा, रेसिप्ट नहीं हो रहा है, तो आप Jamovi Excel ट्राई करो ना, शायद वहां पे हो जाएगा, which is not possible. All other statistical other platforms to process the data, they give identical results. This is all about software part that I've given the idea. Now coming to statistical methods which are essentially used for your research paper. If you make the research paper only of article or news, it will not be called the research paper. If you say some information about the sustainable HR, so what is sustainable HR, what it covers, what are the parameters, how it monitors. If you give only description of that information, it will only be a research paper. It won't go to the level of scopus. Unless you have some primary or second data which you analyze and you show some results out of that, you draw the conclusion which can be benefit to the society, benefit to some organization, or benefit to some individual, then it can be definitely called as a research, good research. So all research papers which you want to go in the Scopus level or ABDC journal must have either primary or secondary data. Now I'll speak initially only about the primary data, then I can speak about the second data, so we'll not mix up between the two. Now, entire my explanation initially will be based only on primary data. So what is required when we collect the data? We put in the Excel, we put in the softwares, how to put in the software, and that part you'll be able to understand it yourself. But first of all, we require the test of reliability, because when you use a Likert scale, then definitely test of reliability is to be required. What is test of reliability? It's called Cronbach alpha test. It's called Cronbach. Cronbach. This can be called Cronbach alpha value or Cronbach value. Whatever your variable, I'm just giving the sample over here. This is the sample. This is one variable, infrastructure quality of the college, where information collected by the 5 questions. If I put those 5 questions, I get the Cronbach alpha value is 0.920. The thumb rule is when Cronbach alpha value is more than 0.70, 0.70, then the test is accepted, scale is reliable and accepted. The scale is proper. Now what happened when you use a Likert scale? You can use a 5-point scale. Sometimes I use a 4-point scale also, because uh, sometimes the neutral part or neither agree nor disagree, that I wanted to eliminate intentionally, particularly when we collect the data from the HR employees, and they try to give most of the part as a neutral part, and we don't get the results. So I force them to either incline towards agree side or disagree side. So we remove that part. And sometimes it happened in the presentation of research paper or the viva of your PhD. The question is asked, why you're not use a 5-point Likert scale? Why 4-point Likert scale is used? And how you validate your 4-point Likert scale is correct. So you can use either 4-point or 5-point or 7-point. You always verify by Cronbach alpha test, which is called test of reliability. Is if this value is more than 0.7, you can say that with evidence that my scale is either 4-point or 5-point or 7-point, is reliable and accepted. So it is not necessary that there should be a 5-point scale only, there should be 7-point scale. It has a flexibility. It depends on how your research give best results. Accordingly, you can put the 4-point, 5-point, 7-point. But definitely this can be used. But you cannot use for the dichotomous question. This is not valid for dichotomous question in the form of yes or no. So this is called Cronbach alpha test. Try to include this test in your research paper. Just give a brief table, name of the variable, how many questions you're taken, or the Cronbach alpha value. If it is more than 0.7, then you can say that scale is accepted, scale is reliable. If you get the value less than 0.7, that your scale is not proper. It is most of the responses are majorly towards agree, or majorly towards disagree. They are not uniformly spread. This is what we understand if the Cronbach alpha value is less than 0.7. So it is for validation ki what you have selected the scale is proper or not. So always your research paper may have a one paragraph about test of reliability. This is the first part. Second part is called descriptive statistics. Now, descriptive and inferential are two different types of statistics. Understand the difference between the two. Descriptive statistics is used to condense the data, to reduce the data into a single number. And for descriptive statistics, we can use arithmetic mean, we can say the average, we say standard deviation, what is the lowest value, what is the highest value, what is the range, what is the skewness, and kurtosis. These all values are called descriptive statistics. If I explain in a simple way to understand all of them, suppose exam is conducted in a particular class of maybe 12 standard students. Some for particular subject, test is conducted, test is out of 100 marks. Papers are being evaluated and marks are allotted to the students. Once the marks are allotted to the students, what is the average marks of the whole class? There may be 60 students in a class. So what is the average marks of all students in the class is called arithmetic mean. From that we understand the class is the intellectual level or average level, moderate level, or poor academic performance. So we can understand roughly, not precisely. Somewhere get the average marks is 70, 75. We say the boys or girls are students are very good in academic performance. If the marks are in the range of 40, 50, we say the performance is very poor. We may have to take extra lectures and push them for the better performance. It's called arithmetic mean. What is standard deviation? Standard deviation measures the variation. I'll just take some data and show you the results also, so you'll be able to understand much better. I'm just taking a sample data to make you understand what I'm taking is, I have data related to some meditation practices and depression and anxiety. I'm just taking this data to make you understand. So depression, suppose I want to study the descriptive statistics of depression. So I will go to analyze this. I'm using SPSS software. This is a descriptive statistics. I'm going to descriptive part. I'm selecting the option. Mean I've selected. Standard deviation, minimum, maximum. You can take the, I'll explain all of this part to you. Okay, I've selected all these values and I'm taking the depression level before meditation. Pre is called before meditation. What is depression level? So I'm showing you how we can get the results and how we interpret. So I got all these results. N is called number of respondents. There's 100 is there. Range. Range is called difference between the lowest and the highest value. Lowest and the highest value. Minimum is 7.41%, 7.41%. So the depression level is very low, which is good. And 88.8989 is there is some person who is having a depression is very high. So he is a depressed person, we can say. So we get lowest and the highest value. Average level of depression is 37.70. It's called average. Standard deviation is nothing but the variation. Standard deviation is called variation. If I show you the data, you can understand this is the depression column. Sorry. This is the depression column. We can see first is 40.74, 18.52, 29.63, then somewhere 88.89. So whatever variation among the numbers, it is measured. Is variation is less, is called more stable data or more homogeneous data, we can say homogeneous. And if variation is large, then we can say it is a heterogeneous data. That means here some people have very low depression level like 18 or 14, and some people are very high depression of 88.89. So this is called as standard deviation. In classroom, if the variation, the academic performance of marks is less, that the students are of same category. It's very convenient or easy to adopt the method of teaching because all the students will be of same level of academic performance, which is homogeneous. In that case, standard deviation is less. Agar standard deviation is high RI, that means there's a lot of variation in the academic performance. Some students might be getting 88, 90, 95. Some students might be getting 20, 25, 30, 35. In that case, a faculty find it difficult to adopt the teaching pattern because he cannot satisfy to both the levels where excellent performance students are there and average or below average performance students are also there. So that is measured by standard deviation. Into the results part. So this was called standard deviation. Square of standard deviation is called variance. Variance is nothing that doesn't have a separate identity, but in most of the cases, variance is used. So square of standard deviation is called variance. So 19.20832. 19.20832. If you take the square, you will get the variance. So both convey the same meaning. Skewness and kurtosis. Skewness is called where the data is not normal. Not normal. This is called the skewed data. Skewness can be positive and can be negative. So whenever we have to check the normality, in that case, the skewness is 0 or towards 0, the data is normal. We are going to discuss separately about the normality test, but I'm thinking about the skewness and kurtosis. Kurtosis is called the bulginess. The shape of the normal curve is a moderate, is called mesocortic, is very high, is called leptocortic, and a very flat curve is called as platycortic. You don't have to go much in detail about that part, don't worry. But skewness and kurtosis, this all belongs to the descriptive statistics. That much you can remember. Even you don't include skewness, kurtosis is fine. But definitely first initial terms, minimum, maximum, mean, standard deviation, these values you should be able to understand. I hope I have done with the proper explanation with the descriptive statistics part. So this is all what I've covered. Now, what is to be included and what is to be excluded, that depends on your research. But basically, arithmetic mean, standard deviation, these two values are essentially shown, presented, displayed in your research paper. Because based on this, you're going to use inferential statistics. So these plays a very important role. Now in the online session, it will be difficult to interact, but first let me complete my first part. I'll divide into the two sessions. We'll complete for 1 hour. Then we may have some question answer sessions if required. And then I'll take another 1 hour session where I can explain all other statistical part. So descriptive statistics part is being explained. And now we are moving to the next part. Now understand the where the things has a debatable or ambiguity or confusing is called test of normality. There is a difference in learning research methodology uh, by reading some textbook and applying professionally. There's little differences there. Like academic knowledge of research methodology and professional knowledge of research methodology has a slight difference. It is not exactly same. So many times people ask me which is the good book for research methodology, and all books of research methodology are very, very bulky. And definitely they read few pages with great enthusiasm, and then they come out that it is difficult for them to understand research methodology because it is repeatedly things happening, or there is ambiguity is there for understanding. Some of you must have done your doctorate also, and your guide must have asked the question, have you checked the data is normal or not? Or even the research paper, when you write, you check the data of normality. The fundamentally, why we check the normality? Because if data is normal, normal means bell-shaped, skewness is 0 or close to 0, then you can use the parametric test. This is what theoretically. ऐसा है, normal है तो parametric test use करो. Parametric test means it can be t-test, ANOVA and f-test, correlation, regression, that all we can use. And if it is not normal, then we can use non-parametric test. Non-parametric tests are chi-square, Friedman test, binomial test, Mann-Whitney test, Kruskal-Wallis test. So all they are called as a non-parametric test. Now the thing is that when we use ANOVA, t-test, f-test, correlation, we get more precise, we get clarity in our result as compared to non-parametric test. Results are very clear in understanding, very clear in defining. That is very convenient in case of we use the parametric test. And it happens most of the time that your data is not normal. Data is not, most of the times it happens. Means if I do data analysis of 10 cases, out of that 8 will come not normal. Now when the question is asked about data is not normal and how come you are using the parametric test, so you are fundamentally not correct, your paper is not acceptable, your thesis is not acceptable, a very shrewd remark can be given by the guide or the senior faculties about data of normality. For data of normality, we use the two tests. This is called KMO test. This is called Shapiro-Wilk test. Both are the similar. You can use either of them. Here, these are the variables: infrastructure quality in college, educational facilities in college. I've used the Likert scale, teaching quality in college. So these all are the variable in the first column. This is a statistic value. This is called degree of freedom. And last is called SIG. SIG is called significance value, is nothing but P value. Significance value or P value. Now the rule is, if the P value is less than 0.05, less than 0.505, because we take 5% level of significance, less than 0.05, then the data is not normal. Data is not normal. So according to theoretical concept, we cannot use the parametric test. But there is a way out. Like bypass सर्जरी होती है ना, वैसे एक bypass है, यूज तो करना है पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट, नॉर्मलिटी दे नहीं रहा है अपने को, तो विल क्लोज दिस पाथ and we have a one more statistical rule which is called central limit theorem. So all of you remember, if anybody put the question your data is not normal and how come you're using parametric test, your justifications here. This is called central limit theorem, which is available in every research methodology textbook. The central limit theorem says that sampling distribution of mean will always be normally distributed as long as the sample size is large enough. So if the sample size is large, then you can consider your distribution is normal. So this is the way out. Even your test of normality is not satisfied, you can show the test, then write the central limit theorem. With the help of central limit theorem, I'm using a parametric test. So this is an important part to give justification that why parametric tests are applicable. It happened in the research paper. When you send it to them, they ask that normality test is not verified. You send the normality, then they say that normality test is not verified. It is not coming normal, so you cannot use this part. So this is a justification. Or better, you write it initially whenever you put the normality test and is not coming normal, give one paragraph on central limit theorem. Now, sample size is large enough, statistically large enough is called more than 30. Sample size is large enough means more than 30 that can be considered as a normal distribution. And definitely when we take for the thesis, we at least take 400, 500, 600 respondents. Some of them take 1,000 or more also. So it is very large. And because of very large, you can take the support of central limit theorem and you can justify that we can use parametric test. Many people are not aware about this central limit theorem, and that's why they stuck up in the process of defending the question which is raised by the seniors or guides or by external referee. And in your research paper also, we take generally for Scopus level, at least we take 100 plus respondents. If you take more the respondents, definitely it is a better consider quality norms. So we are going with the first part. This normal tests are justified. Now we'll discuss one by one all the tests which can be used as a, this is we have done with this part. Okay. Now we'll discuss about the normative test. When the data is normal, parametric tests are applicable. Now the question is how to select the test. Most of the people has a confusion that about selection of the appropriate test. So we'll spend more time on explaining the selection of test part. They are always have a fear in their presentation of research paper or in their viva of the doctorate viva. Statistical questions it will be find it difficult to deal with because they wanted to understand why I have applied one particular test and why other test is not applied. So that understanding is required. Now it will be not possible for each and every researcher to adopt the technological knowledge, to adopt the research methodology knowledge. May not be possible. You cannot have a command on both the things because, well, like a statistician, I am doing the data analysis. I have a command on both the areas. With the technological knowledge I have, how to use the software, how to navigate, how to interpret the data. Interpretation is one of the key skill part. And second is research methodology knowledge, which test is to be applied, what is the correct format of the data in which we have to present it so that the results will be accurate. That all understanding is very important. So definitely I recommend in most of the colleges, there should be one person who is a statistician or teaching the quantity techniques. He can take the initiative to adopt the softwares, to understand the softwares, applies this methodology knowledge and help to other people to make them understand how to make the data analysis for them. Because to get both the knowledge will be difficult at this point of time, because if a marketing person is good in the understanding of marketing knowledge, the finance person, He can understand the knowledge of finance, financial modeling, financial ratios. But if you ask him about the statistical methods applied in this part, it will be difficult for him to understand. Secondly, from which software, how to navigate. Navigation become difficult. If I go back to the SPSS software, you might be able to understand it. If I show the SPSS, a lot of tests are there. This is the SPSS. If I'll say analyze, there are so many tests are applicable. And in this also again, there are subparts. Most of the people are aware about the t-test, but in t-test also there are three t-tests: one sample t-test, independent sample t-test, and pair t-test. Summary independent we don't use very frequently, but this we use. So simply aware about the t-test is not enough. T-test is which one sample or independent samples or pair t-test is also required. So that is called knowledge of research methodology. And from where to get which test, that navigation part is called technological knowledge. If I want regression, then I will go to regression. Regression is a linear or curvilinear estimate or partial or biological logistic that has options. And for that, proper data is required to input. You cannot input the data in any format. It won't be able to accept the system and may not be able to give the proper result. So my suggestion to the institutions, can you require some faculties who has the dual knowledge, research methodology and technology, they can come together and try to help out to all other faculties for the research. If no one is there to help you out, definitely I'm always there to help you out. For any data, if you have it, you can just send it to me. I'll professionally give the analysis of that part, or I can help you out in that area. Okay, we'll go further. So I was explaining about now all the parametric tests. There are many parametric tests are there. If I say about some of the parametric tests, that can be t-test. Again, there are three types of t-test. It's called ANOVA. Then there can be correlation. There can be regression. These are which are used very commonly, that I'm telling you, which are used very frequently. That type of test I'm telling you first, which can be sufficient for your research paper. So there's some connectivity issue right now, so I'm just Okay, I've shared the PPT again. Can you see that? And someone respond me?
Yes, yes, sir.
You can see that. Okay, there's a connectivity issue, so I just joined it from the other network. So now we are explaining all about the parametric test, which are definitely useful for your research paper, and have a clear understanding that when which test is applicable. When which test is applicable, I will also run on the software and can show you that. ANOVA and F-test. ANOVA is not the test. ANOVA is the table. ANOVA is called analysis of variance table. It's called ANOVA. And F-test is called Fisher's test. So it's called F-test. ANOVA and F-test comes in the combination. Now, when this is applicable, when one variable has a numeric value, one variable is in terms of numbers, and second variable is non-numeric. In a simple way to make you understand, when you prepare your mark sheet for the college, you write the name of the student, and the next column, if you write the student is a boy or girl, that information is called non-numerical, boy or girl. And next to that, if you write the marks obtained by the student, is called numeric. Is called numeric. So numeric means numbers are applicable, numbers are there. On non-numeric means alphabets are there. Like awareness of e-banking according to age group. Now we'll say age group, age is a number, but we don't take the individual number. We take age group up to 25 years, 26 to 35 years, or 36 to 45 years. So we put in the group, and that group is called the coded number 1, 2, 3. So that is called awareness of e-banking according to age. Now, employee satisfaction according to gender. So, employee satisfaction will be in terms of numbers, and gender is non-numeric. Customer satisfaction according to educational qualification. So, customer satisfaction with respect to the service quality, we can always put in like a scale. We can ask about the level of satisfaction, and we can take that. Many times, if you take some services, then the people always ask you to give the ratings between 0 to 10 or 1 to 5. That is called as nothing but satisfaction level. In terms of the hotel, when you go for lunch or dinner, just before the bill, they will ask you to give the feedback, and they will ask you to rate the quality of food, ambience of the hotel, service provided by the staff behavior. So they are all nothing but the, you have to give the numbers, rating in terms of numbers, which will be called numerical value. So whenever we have one numeric column and one non-numeric column, then we can use. I'll show you a particular data and can make you understand that part. Now depression. Okay, so here I have a depression that I can understand depression. This is a column. This is in numbers. And I have the qualification. HSC, undergraduate, then there's a graduate is there, or yeah, graduate, postgraduate. Now I want to check whether depression is uniform with all levels of education or not. Is there any difference in depression according to qualification? I want to check that. Is my objective. So this is numeric, this is non-numeric. Now I'm using analyze. I want to use one-way ANOVA. Now one-way ANOVA, in the factor, I will take qualification as a factor and depression as a dependent list. Numeric variable will come on the upper side. Non-numeric will be called as a factor. The references are different in different software. And now if I say okay, then I'll just remove the earlier result so that You will not have confusion in understanding multiple tables. Now you can see this table. This table is generated for depression. Now in this, there are multiple values between the group, within the group, sum of square, degree of freedom, mean square, F, and significance. It is difficult for you to understand each and every term. What is important for you to understand the SIG value? SIG value is nothing but the P value. SIG value is also known as a P value. P value is called probability value. SIG is called significance. Is the more of the statistical word, so we avoid that and we use the simple word P value, probability value. Now the rule is, if P value is less than 0.05, less than 0.05, then there is a difference in depression according to level of education. But here I can say that the value is more than 0.05. If it is more than 0.05, that means there is no significant difference in depression according to qualification. Means higher the qualification, more depression, or lower the qualification, more depression. We are not getting any such result. The depression level is similar for all education level. This is called interpretation and conclusion. If you want to understand more detail about the findings, then we can generate one more table of mean scores. Compare mean, dependent list is my depression level, is my independent. वहाँ पे factor बढ़ता है, यहाँ पे independent है. So the terminology keep on changing. We have to adopt it. So what we can observe here, first is the qualification levels are given: SSC, HSC, undergraduate, graduate, and postgraduate. And second is given the mean scores and how many respondents belongs to that group they have given. And then the standard deviation. Important for you to interpret is this column. This is the important column to interpret. Mean score. We can see that 46 for SSC, 34.81% for HSC, 40.05 for undergraduate, 39.03. Now we can say here the SST has more depression as compared to all. But that depression is not significantly high. What statistics says, we already proved that the p-value is more than 0.05. So this difference is not significant. This difference is not significant. So definitely there is some difference. Depression for SSC students is high, and for postgraduate student is low. That is there. But the difference in depression is not statistically different. This is what we can interpret it. Now somebody can say that when we get 0.331, only one number, then why the other values are important? Why we should write these values? These are all statistical values which are interdependent. Some people, those who are doing some unethical work and they want to show the test is satisfied, they can make the manipulation over here. Somebody can do the change over here and make the value can be like they can put some number 0 and say that yeah, my p-value is coming 0.03, so I have rejected. He wanted to make it the way he wanted, but the person who assess the paper, he will understand that part. If this p-value is 0.04, then the f value should be more than 2. If F value is not more than 2, then definitely the P value is not correct. They are linked. As the value of F will increase, that much P value will decrease. They are always a inverse relationship. Higher the value of F, lower the value of P. Some people might understand that part and they can change it over here also, saying that चलो ठीक है, सर ने बोला इसको 2 कर देते हैं तो अभी काम हो गया. But still, ये जो मीन स्क्वायर कॉलम है 427.441 divided by 366.497 should match with this number. So they all are the support value. So it is not the thing that you can just manipulate simply one number and try to get it. Just trying to come back to the original numbers now. I'll get the results again. These are my original results. So you cannot manipulate these numbers, and when we display the entire table, it gives the clarity that there is no changes, no manipulations, and the data is done very ethically, analysis being done. That is the objective of writing this part. ANOVA is called name of the table. Significance value is nothing but P value. F is called Fisher's value. And these all are the support numbers. Understanding of this, you can say they are the statistical terms which support to the P value, support the P value, and P value is the decision making value. That is what you can say. Okay. So this is all about ANOVA and F test. Now here, one thing is there. I can use ANOVA for gender also. There's nothing wrong, because gender also is a non-numeric and pre-depression is a numeric value. So according to the requirement of ANOVA and F test, the things are satisfied. So I can use that ANOVA and I can get the value. But what happened? Some people or guides or some researchers say that, no, when you compare between the two, you must use the t-test only. Compare between the two. And more than 2, then use ANOVA. So what is my understanding practically? What is written fundamentally is correct. To compare the mean between the two, we can use that t-test. But results will not be different. Results will be same. Significance value will be 0.784. There also get something 0.732 or 0.91. Something you will get. The test will get same result, either accepted in ANOVA and t-test or get rejected in both. Results will not be different. You can use either ANOVA or use the t-test. So for your clarity, I'm giving you the understanding that if it is, there are only 2 components, like gender has male and female, only 2 components, then we can always go for the t-test. I'm not saying F test or not is wrong, but it's preferable to use the t-test so that you can have a variety of tests also in your research paper. One more practical difficulty it happens that most of the guides or the researchers put the gender as male, female, and transgender also. Transgender, or they say better not to disclose. Option is. Now what happened in the research, we are trying to get some conclusion for male and female, which is the majority in proportion. And suppose only one is a transgender, only one is a transgender, then you can always delete that observation saying that the proportion of transgender is very, very less as compared to other gender components, and therefore it is not considered, because that one person can make the things biased. He can give his satisfaction level or his depression level is very low, he's not depressed, then we might conclude that all transgenders are not depression, or there is no depression in the transgender. That might happen. So whenever the proportion is very low, you can remove that. People who don't want to disclose it, don't take their data into consideration. If you want data of 100, you take 105. Maybe 1 or 2 people who are transgender or better not to disclose, You remove them and take it only for male female. So we are in the ANOVA and F test first part that I have explained. Okay. So two tables you should generate. One is a table of ANOVA and second table of report. This report. Report will give more clarity. Now let us move to the next part. We are using all parametric tests we are learning. This is one of the sample that I've given, that what should be the hypothesis. This is all related to the grades given by the NAC committee, like A++, A+, A, B++, B+, B. So we put the category as a grade. All A grade, B grade, and C grade. So we made the three groups, group 1, group 2, group 3. And there is no significant difference in academic performance according to the NAC grade of Commerce College. This is what our hypothesis. One more thing is there. Very few places, either on the net or maybe on the Instagram or maybe on the social media, it is being written that what you have to prove should be null hypothesis, which is a myth, which is incorrect, which is definitely wrong. Null hypothesis is always a neutral, always a neutral. No significant difference, no impact, no association, no relation, no specific factor. This is called as a null hypothesis. Null must be neutral, and alternate can be always a biased. So before applying the test, explain what is null and alternate hypothesis, then explain which test you have applied. This sample is to understand the writing part. Then write the table and then give the interpretation at the end. The above results indicate that calculated p-value is 0.001. It is less than 0.05. Why we take 0.05 always? Because we use in social science, we use level of significance is 5%. Level of significance is 5%. So we use 0.05. Therefore, ANOVA and is rejected, altered hypothesis accepted. So this is the confusion. My altered hypothesis is correct. There is a significant difference in academic performance according to NAC grade. Now we reach to the interpretation conclusion, but we haven't got the findings. To understand the finding, as I said, one more report we can generate. This is the grades, group 1, group 2, group 3. Here group 3 is supposed to be of A plus, group 2 is C grade, and group 1 is a B grade. So this is of the group 1, group 2, group 3. And see the mean scores, 59.36%, 54.32%, 61.45%. Mean scores you have to compare. अभी यहाँ पे 54 और 61 डिफरेंस जो है 54 and 61 बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं, दिस आर हार्डली 7 units, but still the test got rejected. And what I did in that, the difference was very large. Difference was if I show you that part also quickly, what we did just now. Here difference 46 and 39, 32. 32, 46, यहाँ पे 46 यहाँ पे, so almost 14 का difference, still the test is accepted. So all of you understand, it is not being decided just by comparing the mean. It depends on multiple things. Which multiple thing? One is sample size. your sample size was very less. Second part is called standard deviation, which is very high, 25, 25, 18. They're very high. And in this, if I show you the here's the sample standard deviations are less. It is 18, 19, 20, and sample size is 600. So you cannot just the compare differences of 5 or differences of 7, so rejected and accepted, not like that. It has a multiple things are considered: sample size, standard deviation, mean. These are all considered and it is being decided. But whenever we get that p-value is less than 0.05, definitely there is a difference. Definitely there is a statistically differences there. So this is called the writing part. There should be a hypothesis which is called null hypothesis, which is a neutral. Second is called altered hypothesis, which can be biased. Biased in the sense there is a difference. Now, which is greater or which is lesser, that we understand the finding in the report in the second part. This part we get it. Now here we can say that if the NAC grade belongs to group 2, the academic performance is 54.32, which is significantly less as compared to grade 1, as compared to group 1 and group 2. So this is all about ANOVA and F test. You might have been aware, maybe roughly or completely, but I've given the clarity about what can be the specific way you have to implement it. We'll go to the next part, t-test. I'm going to explain the t-test, all three, then I'll explain the chi-square test. Chi-square tests are parametric, non-parametric, that is bivariate or crosstab and Fredman. There are three tests are there. I'll explain the correlation, then regression, and then modeling part. This much I'm going to cover. So you want me to have the question answers at the end, or we can take some 5-10 minutes interval to interact with you? Anybody who is there can let me know how to go ahead with this part. It should not happen that 2.5 hours continuous speaking will be definitely heavy for you. Neha ma'am?
Yes, sir.
So shall we continue or we can have some questions and
Yes,
sessions
sir.
if you want to
Yes,
have
sir.
it?
You will continue. If you want a 5-minute break, then we will resume.
Okay, we'll take a break of 5 minutes and then
Yes,
we'll resume.
Yeah, sure.
It can better. Okay,
sir,
we'll take a break. Yes, yes, sir.
you may please continue with the session, sir.
Okay,
We are noting down. I have only one question so far. So I'm
okay,
noting down. So we'll take it
good,
in last. Not a problem.
good, 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 good. So we'll take break of 5 minutes and then we'll continue.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall we continue?
Yes, sir, you can start.
I'll start. Okay, thank you. So now we are moving to the next part of the parametric test, that is called t-test. T-test again has three types. One sample t-test, then paired sample t-test, and independent sample t-test. Understand the difference between each of them. One sample t-test is used when we have to compare the arithmetic mean of any one variable with a specific value. When I say specific value, what I mean, I'll explain that to you now. I'll just take the example to make you understand. I'm going to the data part. Suppose I want to check whether the depression, now the depression is okay over here. And what scale we have used for the depression? I don't have the questions for the individual. So I got the mean score directly over here to make the data smaller data for you. Here I'm explaining the one sample t-test now. This is one example. There is no significant impact of convenience of using mobile application for the purpose of personal investment account. So we use mobile banking. So how mobile banking is convenient or not, that we have to verify. Now, when we say convenience, it can be a technological knowledge, connectivity, navigation, trust, multiple factors will be there. So if we speak about the convenience, so for the variable convenience, we have used 5 to 6 questions in Likert scale of 5 point. Likert scale of 5 point. The 5-point Likert scale, of course, will have levels like strongly disagree, then neither disagree nor agree, then agree and strongly agree. So it's a 5-point scale. Now, I want to understand regarding the convenience, whether they agree or disagree. I want to understand that part. So I have only one variable, one column in which the values related to convenience are written. Now, I want to verify, is it they find the mobile banking applications are convenient or not, that I have to verify. So I'm converting 1 to 5 like a scale in the percentage form, because my arithmetic mean is in the percentage form, arithmetic mean. So when we write 1 to 5 in the percentage form, 1 represent 20%, 2 represent 40%, 3 represent 60%, 4 represent 80%, and 5 represent 100%. So 100% convenient is rating is 5. Strongly disagree. Now, when we say 1 to 5 like a scale, 3 is called neutral, 3 represent neither disagree nor agree. So that 3 in the percentages form is called as 60. So here test value is taken as 60. So whatever I will get the arithmetic mean of convenience, I'll compare with 60. If it is more than 60, then definitely people find it convenient to use. If it is less than 60, they'll say it is not convenient. So what I got the result is, here I get the t value. This is called, t is called statistics, so it's called t value. Degree of freedom 409. For one sample is 410, so it is n minus 1 always. And then the p value is 0.000. T value is very high, so p value is very low. When p value is less than 0.05, that there is a difference between arithmetic mean and the value 60. ये जो 60 टेस्ट वैल्यू है, this value and the convenience of mobile bank application, that mean there is a significant difference. And difference how much? Difference is 12.647. That means 60 plus 12. So 74 must be according to people's convenience. People find convenience of using mobile applications 72.64. We have compared with 60, which is much higher, and therefore we have a conclusion that there is finding that mobile application is convenient for the users, for the customers of the bank, is the conclusion. So we use the 60 over here. If the mean would have been less than 60, if it comes somewhere 45, 50, 55, then we will say that it is not convenient. Mobile application is not convenient for the customers. So this is called one sample t-test, where test value is defined. Test value is defined. Now test value depends on what we have to compare, we have to compare with which number, accordingly we can decide the value. Somewhere we take the benchmark values are given in the financial data. So benchmark number you can compare, you can put the benchmark value as a test value, and exact returns given the mutual fund, that you can write, and then you can verify whether actual returns are higher than the benchmark returns or less than the benchmark return, that we can verify. So whenever you have to compare with one specific value, then we use one sample t-test. We don't use very frequently, we use it very rarely, or in a very specific reason we use it. Then comes pair sample t-test. This you are aware about it. Most of the people are aware about it. Pair sample t-test, it is used to compare the mean of the two variables. There should be two columns and both in numeric. Condition is sample size of two variable must be same. There should be equal number of respondents in both. Equal number of respondents in both. Then only we can use a pair sample t-test. This is the example of pair sample t-test. This will be the output of it. There is no significant difference. The brand awareness of local and global brand. So here there are some personal care products are there. Hair oil is there, and hair oil is being sold by the global brand also, by the local brand also. So in this, they want to test the awareness of consumers about the local brand and about the global brand. They wanted to check the awareness of consumers about the hair oil. So they have asked equal number of respondents about the same. Are you aware about the local brand? They have given 3, 4 local brand names and they have asked the awareness. And they also given some local global brands and they have asked the awareness. Now we have equal number of respondents. We have 824 respondents where they are using both. Now here, pair 1. We can use for multiple pair also, but you're using only one pair at a time. Awareness of oil local compared with awareness of oil global. This is called mean. यहाँ पे एक्चुअली सॉफ्टवेयर में corrected a difference of mean. Again, the most important for you is the p-value. P-value is 0.000. It is less than 0.05. And if it is less than 0.05, we conclude that there is a significant difference in awareness of local oil and global oil, or local brands and global brands. Now, which brand is more awareness? That you can get in the comparing difference table of mean. So we can prepare one more table of this. Awareness of local oil is 80.34, like Parachute and these oils are known to us. 80.38, and awareness of the global brand about the oil is 31.32. So awareness of oil product for the global brand is significantly low as compared to it local brand. So local brand ka awareness ज़्यादा है. So we have equal number of respondents, 824 here also, 824 here also. And mean score is higher for awareness of local brand. Whenever you write the apply any test inferential statistics, always decide the hypothesis. Write null hypothesis, write altered hypothesis, then explain that which test you have applied, explain about the test, then provide the table and give the interpretation of table. Interpretation, then conclusion, and then finding. Don't give only one paragraph about the table. Give a clarity about what you interpret. The test is rejected. So null hypothesis rejected, altered hypothesis accepted. And when you give a conclusion, there is a significant difference in brand awareness of local and global brands. Then the finding is which brand has a more awareness. So local brands has more aware as compared to global brand is your findings. So every hypothesis should have some specific findings. This is called paired t-test. If you want me to apply paired t-test in the data, which is possible for me, because here we have taken the information related to the two columns. This is called pre-depression, premise, before doing the meditation, and those who join the meditation program, and after meditation, what is this called post-meditation. So they have selected some 100 people for meditation and they wanted to verify, is there any change in the depression level of the meditation program? So I can compare between pre and post. So here, just to show the navigation, we go to analyze, we go to compare mean, we take paired sample t-test. In pair sample t-test, I take the pre-depression is one variable, post-depression is the second variable, and I can say, okay, I want to run the test. This is the result. First table, the three tables are there. First table showing the depression is 34.19, which is a pre, and post is 26. So post is less. As the depression level is gone down. Depression level gone down, that means good. Is the mental health is improved. Meditation is effective. But the difference 34 and 26, ये जो 12 का difference है, 26 और 8 का difference है, is it significant or not? That is important to verify. Depression level कम हो गया है, meditation effective है, लेकिन significant effective है या नहीं, आपको third table से मालूम पड़ेगा. Second is a correlation. Correlation we are not using in this test. They are giving the table, but we are not using that part. So that second table we can delete. We concentrate only on the first and the third table. Third table has many value. ये जो mean लिखा है ना यहाँ पे, ये mean नहीं है. This mean, as I said earlier also, कि this mean is nothing but this you can say difference of mean. A difference of mean होता है. The software it comes only mean, but it has to be difference of mean. I've corrected that part. So 34.19 and 26.48, the difference is called 7.71. If first value is greater, then difference is positive. If first value is smaller, then difference is negative. But positive or negative number doesn't make difference. It shows that difference is significant or not, that you can verify from the last number, which is called p-value, significance value. So for us, important is to verify that p-value, last value. Here p-value is 0.000. So we can say that meditation is very effective to reduce the depression. Before meditation, depression level was 34.19, and after meditation program of 1 month, it has gone down to 26.48. It was a lot of useful at the time of COVID, because COVID, a lot of people went into the depression because of the multiple reasons, and that helped them to control their depression level. So depression level is effectively reduced because of meditation program. This is what confusion is. Now, what are the other things? This is called lower confidence level, upper confidence level. These are not much important. So unwanted value you can reduce also. This, if you want, you can reduce it from here. You can delete it. ये सब आप निकाल दोगे तो भी चलेगा. So whatever specific you want, that much you can keep it. Then you can close it. So we'll require difference of mean, standard deviation, t-value, degree of freedom. DF is called degree of freedom. कई बार यहाँ पे ना लोग बहुत ये हो जाते हैं, degree of freedom क्या है करके. Nowadays, because of the p-values generated by the software, use of degree of freedom is very less. But about 10 years back, 10 to 15 years back, when software were not there, सबसे पहले SPS का version 12 आया था, it was in 2005 or 6. But when we used to do before that, so this value was not available to us. ये available हमें नहीं था software से value. So that time we had two options. We have to use a table value and calculated value. Table value and calculated value. So at the end of the research methodology textbook, you might have observed that there are multiple tables given. T table, F table, chi-square table, correlation tables are given. And in that, on the extreme left and extreme top, they write degree of freedom, or they write N. So we have to identify what is the standard table value for 59 degree of freedom. For a 5% level of significance, you have to identify from that value. And then that table value is compared with 4.23, compared with calculated value. And the rule was, if calculated value calculated value is more than table value, then test is rejected. So it was useful that point of time. But nowadays, because of the software produce the value of p-value, it is easy to interpret. Results will be exactly same. Either you use the method of p-value or you compare calculated value with table value, your results will be identical, will be same. It won't differ anything. So this is the use of degree of freedom, and T is called T statistics, F statistics, whatever values are generated T, यहाँ पे F value है 0.075. So we can use this value to compare with the standard table value. But seeing the table value is also very critical. It requires proper knowledge to select the proper columns and then to pick up the values. Going back to our flow. So we have covered two types of tests. One is called one sample t-test and second is called pair t-test. Coming to the third one, independent sample t-test. An independent sample t-test is used to compare the mean of the two independent groups. यहाँ पे one column is of non-numeric, one column numeric. This is like ANOVA only. But in ANOVA, we can get directly. Here we can compare the specifically what we want that we can compare. I'll show by example how to apply that test. If I suppose take the same software and I want to apply independent sample t-test. In ANOVA also we can do gender and do that part. And we can do that in the t-test also. We can use the gender and the same. Suppose I want to verify whether the depression of male and female is same or different, that I wanted to compare. I want to compare difference between depression level of male and female. So what I've taken, group of respondent नहीं चाहिए मुझे. I want gender. So take gender here. तो यहाँ पे दो question mark है. That means he said you can compare only two at a time, not more than two. So one is for my male and two is coding for female. Coding is written over here. If you want to see, यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है, one is male, two is female. So I've given the coding. He can't compare more three at a time. If you want to compare three at a time, you have to go to the ANOVA and F test. You can compare only two at a time. And we can go for the depression level. Now we are comparing depression level according to gender. Yeah, number of respondents may not be same. Male 39 है, female 61 है, that we can compare here. यहाँ पे बहुत सारे वैल्यू आ जाते हैं. This is another skill part. कि how to identify the required value and how to eliminate the other value. It's called Leven's test. Leven test is for equality of variance. Variance is called square of standard deviation. Variance is square of standard deviation. So whether variances are equal or not, that we have to verify by this test. ये जो इतना column है ना, इतना part जो है, this much part, only these two columns, these are related to Leven's. What we understand, significance है 0.108. When significance is 0.108, which is greater than 0.05, अगर 0.05 से greater है, तो there is no difference in in the variance, no difference in variance of male and female respondents for the variable depression. तो दोनों का variances equal है. Here we have to understand equal है. So out of these two, variances equal है. To take the top row, variances are not equal, then take the bottom row. तो आपको टॉप रो देखना है या बॉटम रो देखना है, दिस इज डिसाइडेड बाय द लेवेंस टेस्ट. नाउ आई एम गेटिंग दैट variances are assumed to be equal variances assumed, so definitely this row I don't require, I can delete this row. Once you verify the leven's test, even this you can leave out. We don't require the standard error and mean differences, these other columns. Sorry, this column we don't require, so we remove that column also. Yes, so you can keep only what is clearly understandable to you. This is called t value, t calculated. This is called degree of freedom. This is called SIG value. See, यहाँ पे 0.784 आ रहा है, 0.784 SIG value है. And when I did it with that ANOVA, if you remember, मैंने ANOVA से भी एक टेस्ट किया था, तो I will show you that result also. देखो 784 ही आ रहा है यहाँ पे भी, ये भी ANOVA का किया था हमने, तो यहाँ पे ये 74, तो वैल्यू आइडेंटिफाइड हो जाएगा आपका. SIG वैल्यू 784, यहाँ पे SIG वैल्यू 74. बट सम पीपल से नहीं ANOVA यूज नहीं कर सकते, ठीक है, फॉर देयर सेटिस्फैक्शन दे यूज द टी टेस्ट, बिकॉज पीपल परसीव दैट कि टू कंपेयर टू यूज टी टेस्ट, compare more than 2 we can use ANOVA and F test, so we can satisfy them as per the requirement. Otherwise ANOVA can be used. Some people wanted to keep the uniformity, वो changes नहीं चाहिए उनको, T test, F test, ANOVA, so we make it uniform. So this is called independent sample T test. If it is more than 2, if you take more than 2, suppose यहाँ पे gender की जगह मैं अगर लिखता हूँ यहाँ पे qualification. So qualification I have multiple groups. Qualification, if you remember, can be SSC, HSC, undergraduate, graduate, postgraduate. But here I can compare only 2 at a time. Suppose I want to compare SSC and the highest was a 5. So it will give me the comparison between the two only. SSC and postgraduate is giving me the comparison between the two. Or if I want to compare anything else, we can do that part also. कि यहाँ पे अगर मुझे चाहिए कि 1 और 5 नहीं चाहिए, तो I want to compare 2 and 5, 2 and 5. Now comparing HSC with postgraduate. Earlier I was comparing SSC with postgraduate. So when a non-numeric column has a multiple, if you want to compare 2 of them specifically, then we can use an independent sample t-test. So these are basically 3 types of t-test. One sample t-test, pair t-test is used most commonly, pair t-test. Pair t-test is used more commonly, and this use one sample t-test. Generally for gender, you can always use pair t-test. And you can delete or ignore the transgender or others, or better not to disclose, that you can ignore it. Going back to my flow of explanation, we have done till this part. See, again, the hypothesis is there everywhere. Hypothesis is there, then altered hypothesis there, then which test we have applied. This is the way proper writing in your research paper. So there will not be confusion which test you have used. No question will be asked based on that part. There is no significant difference in socio-economic impact between the respondents availing and not availing government scheme. तो यहाँ पे socio-economic status है. Those who avail the government scheme, those who are not avail the scheme. So any third person when he read, he should be able to understand what is the output, what is the outcome, what is the results of. There is no significant difference in socio-economic impact between the respondents availing and not availing government scheme. So I understand that your T value is 4.227. My P value is 0.000. There is a difference. So definitely there is a difference in the impact between availing and not availing. Now, which is better, to avail the government scheme is better or not to avail the scheme better? That we can understand in the next slide here. Those who avail the government scheme, their socio-economic is 76.51. And those who are not avail the government scheme, their socio-economic status is 65.88. So availing the scheme has a positive impact. So availing government scheme has a positive impact and the socio-economic status, this can be the conclusion. So your difference is 65 to 76, this difference of almost 11. So that difference is significant or not, it is decided by the p-value. So p-value is a decision making. You can't argue saying that difference 11 ka hai, या difference 5 ka hai, difference 7 ka hai. So what is allowed and what is not allowed? You can't do that part. This is like this part. Ye p-value. Like in the mark sheet, in the school mark sheet I'm talking about, not now the CGPA. School mark sheet mein, at our age, the parents used to say the very last column, pass or failed. Pass. फेल है test. I'm doing the ANOVA and t-test and all three types of t-test. Now going back to the next part of the flow. Non-parametric tests are applicable. This is called, there are three tests are there. One is a chi-square test. One is a non-parametric chi-square test called as a Friedman chi-square test. This is a Friedman. Now, three chi-square tests are the difference in all three, and when which test is used. Friedman chi-square test is applicable. Suppose you have 5 to 6 government schemes. 6 government schemes. You want to understand which government scheme you know about it. That you have to understand awareness of the government schemes, or which government scheme is most benefited. That you want to identify. So in that case, they might have given us, and we want to identify which scheme has the highest or equalness. Column, and in that column, the awareness is written. Awareness of government schemes. We can have one column. We can have one column each for each scheme. Awareness of maybe Mudra loan scheme, or awareness of maybe Sanjay Gandhi Niradhar Yojana, or a scheme can be for Awas Yojana, or maybe for some health schemes are there. So there can be different schemes, and for each scheme there will be one column each. Now we have to verify which scheme awareness is less or more. So for that we use the Friedman t-test, Friedman chi-square test. N is called total number of respondents, 432. This is called chi-square value, 92.323. Degree of freedom is 3. अगर 4 scheme है तो यहाँ पे 3 आएगा, n-1 होता है 3. And p value is 0.000. Again, p value is less than 0.0. That means there is a difference in the awareness of government scheme. उस स्कीम का अवेयरनेस ज्यादा है या कम है. So definitely awareness are different. Now if I go for the next interpretation हो गया, p value is 0.000, which is less than 0.05. Therefore there is a significant difference in the awareness of government scheme that we have identified. Now कौन सा scheme का awareness ज्यादा है या कम है? If you want to identify that part, एक मुद्रा लोन है, ये प्राइम मिनिस्टर एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन प्रोग्राम है, ये क्रेडिट गारंटी एंड ट्रस्ट एंड माइक्रो स्मॉल ये है, एंड दिस माइक्रो एंड स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज. तो इफ यू सी द मीन रैंक, दिस गिव्स द इंपॉर्टेंस. इसका इंपॉर्टेंस जो है 2.70. तो अवेयरनेस इज हाईएस्ट फॉर मुद्रा लोन. Awareness is highest for Mudra loan, and awareness is lowest for the credit guarantee fund trust, 2.18. So this scheme, the people are less aware as compared to other schemes. The lowest awareness is 2.18, highest awareness is 2.70. So this is called the Friedman chi-square test. It gives the awareness of importance. कि कौन सा awareness ज़्यादा है. See, generally when we have it, simple study if I'll take कि banking services. So which banking services you avail more? So we get the information. So there are maybe 5 to 6 banking services are there. So out of that, which banking services are being used? For that we can use Friedman test. Or if you're purchasing online, then you purchase online with the stationery or apparel or electronic products or grocery products. So we can have 5, 6 or 7 options we can give, and we can ask them that which you purchase type of products online. Never, rarely, sometimes, mostly, often you can give the options. And from that, we can identify the consumers in the particular area is buying these type of products more frequently as compared to others. ये कैसे यूज होता है मालूम है? ये this they keep a track on that part, and which are being less consumed, less used, less preference, then those articles they remove from their stock, and more sellable are there, only that they add it. This is the first test, Friedman chi-square test, when you have to identify which factor is most influencing factors. Accordingly, we can do that part. Now we'll go to the next test, non-parametric chi-square. a person who has some basic knowledge of statistics, he can understand all these things. Otherwise, it will be a little difficult. I can share these slides with you so that you can go back to this part and you'll be able to understand, because I've given the how to write the interpretation and that part also. Non-parametric chi-square. Now, if I want to check the proportions are equal or not, if I have to check that part, then I can use the non-parametric chi-square. Here, there is no difference in proportion of respondents according to the annual income. We just take it, we have taken the income for the respondents, and whether the difference is there or not significant, proportion में difference है या नहीं, ये अगर check करना है, तो there we can use it. I'll make it more simple for you to understand. कहाँ पे use करना है आपको बताता हूँ मैं. यहाँ पे एक है frequency of meditation frequency column है. Whether I'll be able to use. What I'm showing you the table is meditation frequency. 1 is called never, 2 is called rarely, 3 is called sometimes, 4 is called mostly, and 5 is called regularly. I'll just type it for you. You don't have to remember it. So meditation frequency. I got a data of 100 and I want to see that the people frequency of meditation, if the proportions are equal or not. So what I get, never, there are 22, rarely also 22, sometimes also 22, mostly 24, regularly 10. Total 100 है. So observed means this is the actually information given by the respondent is called observed. Actual information given by the respondent is called actual. And what is expected, because we have a never, rarely, sometimes, mostly, and regular, there are 5 options, 5 categories. So 100 divided by 5 is 20. So expected was 20, actually is 22. तो ज्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं है. Actual 22 यहाँ पे भी, यहाँ पे 20, डिफरेंस नहीं है. So this difference between the expected actual is compared in the non-parametric t-test. और लास्ट में कंक्लूजन क्या है, ये SIG वैल्यू है, ये last 171. This SIG value is nothing but p value. Now because of the value is 171.171, which is more than 0.05, so we say that there is no significant difference in the proportion of frequency of meditation. मेडिटेशन करने में फ्रीक्वेंसी में डिफरेंस नहीं है. अगर डिफरेंस होता है कहीं पे ज्यादा तो डेफिनेटली ये वैल्यू आपका 0.05 से लेस हो जाती है. I'll make the changes in the data and show that how it can be different. Now frequency mediation, I will take this as a वो I made some changes in the data. Let us verify that how the result will change. से डिफरेंस बढ़ गया यहाँ पे, तो ये वैल्यू कम हो गया है, 0.064 है, 0.064. Still difference is there, but difference is not significant. मैं थोड़ा और difference अगर यहाँ पे change करता हूँ, तो it will show me the value less than 0.05. And the small changes, and we'll verify the data now. Now see the last p value is 0.01. 0.01 is less than 0.05. So there is a difference in the proportion of frequency of meditation. तो यहाँ पे नेवर नहीं मेडिटेशन नहीं करने वाले 27 है, जो 20 है, तो बहुत ज्यादा है. मोस्टली करने वाले 29 है, ये बहुत ज्यादा है. रेगुलरली करने वाले ओनली 10 है, कम है. सो देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन द एक्सपेक्टेड नंबर एंड ऑब्जर्व नंबर. दिस यूजिंग द टेस्ट. This is called non-parametric chi-square test. It is used for only one column. Only one column. Friedman में we have 2 to 3 columns were there. 3-4 column होते हैं, उसमें कंपेयर करके फाइंड आउट कर सकते हैं. And last is called as cross tabulation. इसमें भी एक होता है. Here we get association between two non-numeric. अभी दोनों non-numeric है. Both are non-numeric. Like result of the student is pass and fail. Is result. And gender is boys and girls. So boys, girls is non-numeric. Result is passed and failed. Both are non-numeric. If we want to have some study on that part, then we can use the cross tabulation or two-way table. Now here, the wording is there is no association. There is no association between the two non-numeric variable. Here, I am saying there is no association between microfinance availed and the age number of the SHG. Microfinance availed and age of the member of the SHG. यानी एज का और माइक्रोफाइनेंस अवेल करने कोई एसोसिएशन है या नहीं. whether young people are availing the microfinance and elderly are not availing, or elderly is availing and younger is not availing, is there anything that I wanted to study? तो मेरे पास एक कॉलम में माइक्रोफाइनेंस अवेल्ड यस और नो फॉर्म में होगा, एंड एज दे कैन बी मल्टीपल एज ग्रुप. अगेन द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट वैल्यू इज कॉल्ड द पी वैल्यू. ये पी वैल्यू है मेरा. The last column ये जो है this is nothing but p value. Now here p value is 0.355. 0.35. These are multiple values are there. The first column is most important. That rest of the column which are not required, that you might delete it, is not a problem. Only keep the specific information. So this is more than 0.05. This is more than 0.05. So the null hypothesis is accepted. So availing the microfinance and age has no association. Has no association. And if you want to check the numbers, we can get the numbers here. ये नो है, ये यस है, और ये एज ग्रुप है. तो इसके बीच में डिफरेंस ज्यादा नहीं है. दिस व्हाट वी अंडरस्टूड कि यंग पीपल आर टेकिंग मोर माइक्रो फाइनेंस एंड एल्डरली आर टेकिंग लेस. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. If the value would have been less than 0.05, then definitely we can say that there is a association. I'll explain. अभी यहाँ पे मैं आपको बताता हूँ. We are going to the part here. I will check with the meditation frequency है और क्वालिफिकेशन. तो मुझे चेक करना है कि क्वालिफिकेशन मेडिटेशन फ्रीक्वेंसी को एसोसिएशन है या नहीं. कि जो हाईली क्वालिफाइड लोग वो मेडिटेशन करते हैं या लेस क्वालिफाइड लोग नहीं करते हैं, whether any associations there or not, that I want to check between qualification and meditation frequency. So I'm using analyze. I'm going to the cross tabulation. So cross tab. ये navigation बहुत important है. This a technical person can help you out. That's why I said you require dual knowledge. One is research methodology and second is the navigation of the test. तो ये cross tab आ गया. Row और column में एक एक variable use करना है. You can have a choice. Either you can take qualification in one row and frequency of meditation can be in another row. This can be interchanged. This doesn't make any difference. Then I want to check the chi-square. तो यहाँ पे chi-square को select करना पड़ता है. यहाँ पे by default नहीं आता है. To select the chi-square. And if I say OK, now you can see here p-value. जो first column, this is called the p-value. ये बाकी का मेरे लिए कोई बहुत important नहीं है. P-value is 0.01, which is less than 0.05. If it is less than 0.05, then definitely there is association between meditation frequency and qualification. इसमें association definitely है. This is non-parametric test है ये. इस पे results find out करना थोड़ा difficult होता है, because we don't get the exact clarity कि क्या association है मालूम नहीं पड़ता है. If you want to have better understanding, you can generate one more table which is called as the cells. इस cells में जाके आप एक expected को click कर लो, आपको ऐसा टेबल मिलेगा. तो ये जो SSC है, SSC में यहाँ पे दो है. एक जो टॉप रो है that is called the actual values, और जो नीचे का है that is called the expected count. तो जहां पे भी एक्चुअल और एक्सपेक्टेड में डिफरेंस होगा, एक्सपेक्टेड होगा, डिफरेंस होगा, दैट इज योर रिजल्ट. यानी यहाँ पे एक रिजल्ट मुझे क्या मिल रहा है, काउंट एक्चुअली 6 है, एक्सपेक्टेड है 1.9, 2 होना चाहिए था लेकिन 6 लोग हैं. सो दैट मीन्स वी कैन कंक्लूड दैट कि रिस्पोंडेंट्स with SSC qualification or not doing the meditation or never do the meditation more than the expected count. नहीं करने वाले ज्यादा है, नहीं करने वाले. एंड और कहां पे डिफरेंस आपको मिलेगा, दैट यू कैन सी 15 एंड 11.6. तो 15 और 12 का डिफरेंस है यहाँ पे बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस है, 16 एंड 9.3. That means postgraduate are doing more meditation. Mostly postgraduate are mostly doing the meditation. which is high as compared to expected. Expected थे कि 9 लोग ही meditation करेंगे, but actually में 16 कर रहे हैं. So this is very high number. So this way we can identify. So non-parametric test is not that easy to get the conclusion. So as far as possible, we use parametric test. But whenever you want to check the association, numbers nahi hai, non-numeric values hai, then we can use this test. So the chi-square test also we have learned 3 chi-square tests. One was non-parametric chi-square. This is bivariate chi-square. ये bivariate है ये. And this is cross tabulation or bivariate. उसके आगे था ये नॉन पैरामेट्रिक, उसके पहले था फ्रेडमन टेस्ट. ये तीनों काय स्क्वायर है. फ्रेडमन काय स्क्वायर, नॉन पैरामेट्रिक काय स्क्वायर एंड क्रॉस टेबुलेशन काय स्क्वायर और बायवेरिएट क्रॉस टेबुलेशन. We are covering too many tests because we have very short time to explain, but definitely in brief we'll try to cover all, and I'll share this PPT with you so that you can go once again how the hypo is to be written, what should be the wording, how you interpretation is written, that you'll be able to understand it. Now going to the next part. Most of the you people are familiar about the correlation, and I'm going next for the regression part, and then we'll go for the modeling part. Correlation can be used whenever you have to study a relationship between two or more variables. Relationship between two. Relationship, impact, effect. Whenever this you have to test, then definitely we have to use correlation test. We use very frequently on the performance, effect of organizational behavior on the performance, or effect of quality of the product on the buying behavior. So effect, impact, we have to use relationship, and both will be numeric columns. Both will be numeric columns. Second column था infrastructure quality. We asked multiple questions about the infrastructure quality, and we got that numeric value. Now, whenever you use the Pearson's correlation to generate this type of table, NAC grade and infrastructure quality. See, this is the value to be verified. Sorry. We have three interpretations. One is called Pearson's correlation value, which is 0.309. Which is 0.309. This is Pearson's value. Below that is their p-value. P-value is most important for us. P-value is 0.000. When p-value is 0.000, we can conclude that there is a significant relation between NAC grade and infrastructure quality. See, we require smartness to draw the conclusion here. P-value इतना ही बता रहा है कि there is a significant relation. Now, in correlation, relation can be positive, can be negative. Positive means due to increase in first variable, second also increases, is called positive. Direct variation. And negative means opposite. If first variable increases, then second variable decreases, is called negative correlation. That means price and demand. That can be called as a negative correlation. अगर price बढ़ेगी तो demand कम हो जाएगा. And positive means sales and profit. If sales improves, then profit also improves. assuming the other factors are constant. So likewise, if the Pearson's correlation value, this 0.309, ये अगर positive है, then there is a positive correlation. और ये अगर negative है, तो negative है. तो correlation is significant, we get that by p-value, but significant positive है or significant negative है, that we can understand from the Pearson's correlation value is positive or negative. So here we conclude that positive है. And n is number of respondents. We have 600 respondents. If the correlation exists, then we can go for the regression model. Regression is nothing but the model of estimation. Generally, regression model, if you give in your research paper, but if it is applicable, then only you can give. It is not forceful, you can put it. Agar correlation nahi hai, so you can't go for the regression model. That is very sure. So here, because of correlation there, we can go for regression model. Now, what is regression model that you understand? It is used when correlation is significant. If correlation not significant, then you don't go for the regression at all. Many times the people come to me and say that, sir, थोड़ा regression model को use करना weightage आएगा research paper में. But data doesn't support that. There's no relationship between the two variables. बोलते नहीं sir, you are expert, you're doing for so many years, आप कुछ भी करो कि regression apply करो. But technically tell you, we can't help you out because there is no correlation, we can't do that part. So it is used if dependent and independent variables are identified. There's only one dependent variable and independent variables can be one or more. इसका जो equation तैयार होता है, equation will get of this part. This dv is called dependent variable. Is equal to constant. We'll get some number. We'll get some number constant. Plus, we'll get some coefficient for first independent variable. IV1 is called independent variable 1. Independent variable 2, independent variable 3. Like buying behavior depends on product quality, price, promotional offer, place of availability. So there can be 3 independent variable. 4P अगर मैं लेता हूँ तो price, product, place, promotion. This can be 4P. And my dependent variable is buying decision. So which promotional strategy influence the dependent variable that we can identify or present it by the regression model. So this way we'll get a theoretically. Now I'll show you the practically how the regression model is being applied and developed. This was theoretical. ऐसा आपको equation मिलेगा. Whenever you apply the regression model, you will always get identify what is dependent variable, what is independent variable. Here my dependent variable is academic performance. And my independent variables is teaching quality, educational facilities, and infrastructure quality. I have 3 independent variable and I have a academic performance. This is a summary table of the result, which is not very important, but give the basic idea. What is R and what is R square? This value we get it. So the part of the mandatory that you can put it, the R value is positive है यहाँ पे 0.280 है. So positive question, we get the basic information. This is the first table of regression model. Second table is important for you, is called ANOVA. यहाँ पे भी ANOVA आता है, but this ANOVA is of regression. This ANOVA is not of comparing the mean score. Why we use this ANOVA? Because if I use this ANOVA and my SIG value is, SIG means significance value, is less than 0.05, then I can conclude that linear regression model is good to fit. Linear model is applicable. Because someone can question how you came to know that linear model is applicable in your study. Then this table is your justification that I have applied the ANOVA and my SIG value is less than 0.05. So it definitely shows that my linear model is acceptable, it is good fit, it is applicable. So it's the one of the important part. Simply you cannot write the linear regression. First you have to show that linear, non-linear, multiple weight is there. Now, after that we'll get the next table. It's called coefficients. And these coefficients are nothing but column unstandardized and B column. B is called coefficient. यहाँ पे, if you see the first column is the model, means which variable you have taken, that shows the model. यहाँ पे सारे आपके independent variable आएंगे. Then second column is called B. B is called coefficients. Now, ये जो आपको ऊपर बताया ना इक्वेशन, ये इक्वेशन कैसे फ्रेम होता है, you will understand it over here now. This constant is 41.049. So at the bottom, extreme bottom, you can see AP is called academic performance. We are developing the equation for academic performance. Academic performance is equal to 41.049. That number I got it from the second column, first value. Second column, first value. Then infrastructure 0.124, 0.124. So 0.124 into infrastructure quality, IQ. Then minus 0.05, minus 0.05 of the educational facility. Now in this data it is coming 0.05. और ये significant नहीं है. If you see the extreme right hand side 0.295, in इसका कोई ज़्यादा significance use नहीं है. But still it is there, you can put it. You can ignore also, that doesn't make difference. उसका बहुत effect नहीं हो रहा है. And third is teaching quality. Teaching quality is 0.167. ये इसका impact हो रहा है. So academic performance depends on mainly infrastructure quality and teaching quality. If teaching quality will improve, academic performance will improve. If infrastructure quality is improved, then this will improve. Educational facility doesn't have a significant impact in this data what they have taken, but educational facility also can have the effect definitely. In some other research, it might get effect is there. Now this is called the model, regression model. So someone has to estimate the academic performance of the student, then he can fill the questionnaire, get the values of infrastructure support that he is getting, teaching quality that he is getting. You can identify the academic performance of that student. This is called regression model. Now to go to the best of your paper, you can add it as a structural equation modeling. SCM आप add करते. We just take 5 minutes and then we can have a question answer session. Just take it quickly. This is called SCM, structural equation modeling. Now difference between the regression model and SCM is SCM can give the impact of each question on overall. Here you can see IQ1, IQ2, IQ3, IQ4, IQ5. So we have 5 questions to infrastructure quality. And because of that infrastructure quality, each question has how much impact on the overall that we understand from here. First is having impact of 0.855. So all are positive. So every factor of infrastructure quality is contributing to the overall. So ACM will provide you the impact of each question on that particular variable. These are 3 independent variables. This is called dependent variable, academic performance. And this will get, these values are called the outer loadings. These are called outer loadings. And these 3 values, 0.149, minus 0.045, these are called as a impact factor or impacting values. How much infrastructure quality impacting the academic performance that we can get. Now, these value you cannot compare with the regression model, because regression we have taken the mean score, and here they have taken the individual score, they have taken ACM. So for ACM, we use smart PLS. Using smart PLS, we can generate that value, and then with three things you can explain. One is called path coefficients. You know, minus 0.045, 0.14, and this value should be seen into over here. 0.149, this you can see. 0.149, minus 0.045, 237. This value you can get it. It's called path coefficients. This is impacting factor. Then you get outer loadings. Means each question has how much impact. AP1, academic performance, 0.468. You can see these values over here. Academic performance right side में यहाँ पे 0.468. So all these values you can present by the table. And last is called the outer weights. Diagram can show you either outer weights or can show the outer loadings. There are two options. You can show any one of them, but outer loading is more preferable as compared to outer weights. The outer loading gives the impact. So structural equation modeling can be enhancing your paper. How we do the structural equation modeling, we don't have enough time, but quickly I'll take it with you. See, this is called the smart PLS. The smart PLS, and there's a way of doing it probably. And these are the independent variables. This is a dependent variable. And if I want to run it, I can run this. What is that? We got the values. This is. And it generate all the values. ये पूरा table यहाँ पे generate हो जाता है. That can show you the complete model also. This is called smart PLS. It's a completely different way of handling it. First, you have to give the input data in the coding part, like we have done here in a different format. So this we get into it. So as a summary, if I brief it in 2 minutes, descriptive statistics, then comes to descriptive statistics, then inferential statistics, and then regression model, and then ACM. If you include any of this part, then definitely your research paper can be of good quality and can be accepted in the Scopus and ABDC journals level. Now we can have a time for the question answer session, because definitely a lot of inputs given from my side. Now I'll keep it open for the forum to ask your questions one by one. If you want, you can type your question. My chat box is open now.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I request all the participants, if you have any question, then put your message in chat box.
Chat box, and then definitely I can answer your queries.
Yes, any question? Anybody have any question?
If you don't have question, then I will ask you the question.
Very good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sure, sir.
I would like to ask one question. So Smart PLS is open source or it is a paid version?
Paid version.
Okay. Okay.
It is not
Thank you
good
so
to
much,
tell you
sir.
on this platform, but crack versions are available. If you're using a good intention just to learn, I request you can try for that part, but don't use it professionally. Like I'm doing the professionally, so I have to use the paid version only. But for
Okay,
learning
thank you
purpose,
so
you may
much.
try the crack version. So because you don't have to pay for that. Or Smart PLS 3. PLS 3 is the old version, which is available as a free, where you can take the limited only 100 samples. We can't take the large data, but take 100 samples, which is enough for learning. It will not take sample size of 500 or 1000. So Smart PLS 3 you can try, which is a free.
Okay. Thank you so much. And sir, your session was wonderful. We have learned so many new things from you, this session. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Mona Sina ma'am has wants to give the thanks note. So hand over to the madam.
Good afternoon, Dr. Roy, Dean and Director, DMS, Bharati Vidyapeeth, our honorable resource persons, faculty members, organizers of the workshop, and dear participants. I'm Dr. Mona Sinha, HOD, DMS. I'm honored to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the Department of Management Studies. These past 1.5 days have shown us remarkable pathways of writing research papers. Through stimulating presentations and engaging discussions, we have learned a lot and hopefully geared ourselves towards the international conference, which is upcoming, which is on 4th and 5th of April, and in collaboration with the prestigious Southern Cross University of Australia. Please register yourself for the conference as soon as possible. The link is in the chat box and along with the last dates of the abstract submission. My sincere appreciation goes to our resource persons. Firstly, Dr. Hippu Nathan from IRMA, who in spite of traveling to Orissa, took out time and gave us wonderful inputs on how to increase the impact and output of our research, and also made us aware of the open source publications available to us. Thank you, Hippu sir, for sharing your expertise. This will be very helpful in applying for research funding. My sincere gratitude to Dr. Evelina Brajesh for giving us hands-on training on bibliometric analysis and its application. All those who are writing research papers will gain immensely from her session. I would also like to thank Professor Saraf for sharing with us excellent inputs on using of various softwares for data analysis. Sir, your session has been very good. Thank you for your invaluable insights. This pre-conference workshop would not have been possible without the support and guidance of our director, Dr. Premashish Roy, who always takes efforts to walk the extra mile. Thank you, sir. Our special thanks to our organizing team for their hard work and dedication in putting together such a seamless and successful event. Special thanks to Dr. Anjali Dadhich and Professor Rochelle Vinu for taking care of the technicalities. Thank you, madam. Dr. Neha for hosting the workshop, and Dr. Rupali to further take care of the certificates. Your attention to detail and commitment to excellence has not gone unnoticed. Thank you, dear participants, for participating and bringing energy and engagement to every session. Your questions and contributions have made this workshop meaningful. We look forward to your participation in Minds 2025 on 4th and 5th of April. And at DMS, we will do our best to support you in publishing your research paper in very good journals, which are indexed in Scopus, Web of Science, and UGC Care. Have a wonderful day. The feedback link has been shared in the chat box. Please register yourself for the conference. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Ma'am, I already shared the PPT with you. I already put it on your WhatsApp. So if required, you can forward it to the participant if they require.
Yes, we will do that, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Saraf sir, very nice of you. I will take only 1 minute of yours.
Sure, sir.
Thank you for sharing the PPTs. And my question was related to the same thing. Sir, I'm a faculty teaching in Diploma College of Engineering. Okay. I'm a postgraduate. I'm pursuing MBA also. But
Great.
the matter of fact is, I am not experienced as far as research papers are concerned. So that was my intention to attend the program. And there are few takeaways on positive side, but still I'm little afraid to, and that's why I'm asking you, instead of PPTs, if you have proper text like a book, if you have Maybe a soft copy will do. If it is,
Okay.
if you can suggest, recommend, whatever.
Okay.
For the beginners.
Okay. My book
Yeah.
will be coming the next month. It is under publication. Once it's
Oh,
open, let you know surely. Okay.
no, someone else in that case. Someone else.
Someone
I mean, I
else
will
case.
text.
See,
Yeah.
I'll tell you honestly, the books which are there, they are all theoretically explained books are there. But when
Right.
you have a case study and proper navigation, in my book, I've given the proper navigation to apply the one sample t-test from where, how to go. That navigation I've given. And I've explained when it is applicable and what can be the type of data I've given the sample. So I've given with the case studies, so I can have that way. Generally, people use the Kothari book, which is but
Yeah.
just too tricky to use CK Kothari, that you can use
Mm.
it. Or better, you can learn from the videos. You just put it
Okay.
video, you can identify for t-test, for fragment test. There you can understand a little much better as compared to reading the books.
Right. Right.
That will be always better.
Agree, sir. Agree. And looking forward to. I wish your books gets published before at least February. May if it is published, it will be helpful. March will do. In 1 month, I can pick up, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very good. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Saraf, sir, if you permit us, we will share your email ID on the chat box and your number also. So those participants who want to get in touch with you can get in touch with you directly.
Okay, I'll just put it in the chat box.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
I request all the participants to fill the feedback form. It's compulsory to fill for getting the certificates, and the WhatsApp link will be shared in the chat box. You can join the WhatsApp group for further communication.
How many are there attending? 30, 20 and 30, I think they are attending now.
Sir, on 17, I think 100 plus people are joining. And today there are, I think, 50 plus peoples, but now there are only 30 showing.
So I expect that at least 50, those who attended, so 50 research paper, they should be able to give you in your conference. And for those who require any support from my side, they can get back to you. I've given my mail ID and I've given my mobile number also. So in case of they require any help, any doubt for making the presentation, the research papers, definitely I'll support them.
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir, once again.
Thank you very much.
Very
We'll end
nice
the
of you. Thank you so much, sir, from all the participants. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, sir.